Hello, I'm Simulator Dirk, and welcome back to City Transport Simulator. We are continuing. I have renamed my lines because later on I'll be running buses as well. So I've called all the tram lines T1, T3, T1, T2, T3, and T4. T for tram, and I'll be naming the buses B1 to whatever. So we have a new vehicle. We're currently at the station of Lochinvar, and we're on the T2 to Aberdeen. So this one's actually got a... This is the R2 tram that was in TramSim Munich. So what I've done, I've rejigged some of the routes compared to previous. So high capacity trams, I've generally gone to a 15-minute service because sometimes that has enabled me to not use an extra tram compared to having a 10-minute service. So the general plan is to start from what I'm going to call the northeast.
The next station is Lambton. Change here for T3 and T4.
Alright, that's me. We're going to the right. So I've got 4 lines at the moment. I've got the maximum number of trams that I can. And we're basically going across town from Blockbuster, past the university, through Newcastle interchange, and then to the southern suburbs. So 20 around the corner. So I did start to roll down the hill a bit, so I've just got my brake on. So all of the trams are now this type, high capacity. And I've just clocked up level 11. even if I haven't driven those routes yet. So I've driven what is now the T1 on the last episode. This episode will be the T2, T3, T4, etc. My signal to go. Okay, so University is our next stop.
The next station is University of Newcastle. Change here for T3 and T4. So a little bit getting used to different tram. Of default Berlin, Munich and Vienna. So I've gone Berlin. Should actually have a look. Have to put the traction brake lever into the neutral position. What? I hope I don't have to do that all the time. The next station is Beresfield. Change here for T3 and T4. So Beresfield, Hamilton, Sandgate and Jules. So we're going at Beresfield.
The next station is Hamilton.
Certainly finding this a lot easier to control with the controller than I was having to control with the keyboard with TramSim. Because in some ways in a real train you basically are using a joystick anyway, or a controller anyway, effectively. By the way, if you're interested in traffic lights, check out Traffic Light Doctor on YouTube. He's an American traffic light technician. It's very, very interesting, even though it's different from where I'm from in Australia. It's similar sort of concepts. It's quite fascinating, actually.
The next station is Sandgate.
So the tram that you're seeing coming towards you now is the type of tram that I'm in, and that all of my trams are at the moment.
The next station is Jewels.
So as I have mentioned in previous episodes, if the name of the suburb or the name of the stop started with J before, I have as far as possible changed the station to the same name. Oh, sorry, the same letter. But that doesn't mean that I won't change them again in the future. Right, going around to the right.
The next station is Georgetown.
Platform. So if I do have another tram behind me, which I really shouldn't because it's a 15-minute frequency. Hang on, what? Button did I press? There we go. Are you brilliant me?
The next station is Newcastle Interchange.
That's the reason why that wasn't mine, because cars have to turn left in front of me. So sometimes it's a very interesting challenge that I've got no experience in professionally. interacting the traffic with the trams. So I haven't set up any bus routes yet because I'm concentrating on trams for this series. But what I might do after this episode, I might put in a bus route and see what happens. See when I'm driving the tram around, will I see the buses once I've set a bus route? So my original route for the university was actually going to end in Newcastle, and I changed it, and then I thought, no, let's continue it on.
The next station is Del Laura. Change here for T4. Had the opportunity to turn left, so that's why my signal wasn't stopped. Back of the tram. Because these European trams, they've got a balloon loop at each terminus. That's mine. That's no longer mine. They've got a balloon loop at each terminus, and so therefore they've only got doors on the right hand side.
Oh, it looks like I forgot to name one of the stations.
The next station is Warbrook. Change here for T4.
And so I also wonder, that's mine. So when I put a bus route in, will it say change for T1, T2, whatever, and B1? That's the back of the tram. There's no driver's cab at that end. They would have a little compartment for shunting movements, as I found out. As I found out in TramSim. Where am I going now? I'm going around to the... No, I'm going straight.
The next station is Awava. next station is Scheller Gas. Change here for T4.
Stop yet. Can I release the doors?
Glauben Sie, dass Sie die Verspätung
Yeah, I was a little bit off. What I could have done was waited back a bit, come into the station slower. Like, it's not a massive step down, but passengers shouldn't have to do that.
The next station is Swansea. Change here for T4. Okay, don't have the signal anyway. Got the signal now. I want to release the doors. I've already released the doors for Swansea. That's what again, just keep things happy. Next station, 5. next station is Farley.
And I don't think I've missed a stop. Yeah, I certainly did. Yep. No, lights changing. Now I hope this isn't like some simulators where it says you must drive the route before you can use AI on it, because I do want to run a bus route through the centre of town to see if I'll be able to see the buses as well as the trams. I haven't run past a tram stop that I would have missed. Oh, if they're going, I should be able to. It won't be on for us, I don't think.
The next station is Mount D.
the car goes, I'll go.
The next station is Richmond Vale.
There's another tram, can't see what route that's on, but it crosses us here. That could be T3 or T4. We're going straight here. Not ignore the traffic light, I'm right here.
The next station is Lemon Tree.
Now this one was an interesting one because I wouldn't accept Lemon Tree Passage for some reason, but I would accept Lemon Tree. Lemon Tree Passage is in the Port Stephens local area.
going around to the right.
That's a T2, so that's the same route we're on.
The next station is Stadtgraben.
Oh, there's another one I need to change. What? You collided with a car? Didn't even see a car. Maybe the car collided with me.
The next station is Lovedale.
I think what I might do after we finish this trip and put the episode on pause is rename all the R's, S's and T's. Anyway, I'm going to have to do them all at some point anyway.
The next station is Sodden Gas.
I swear the lady on TramSim was pronouncing Sonnengasa. All the doors to turn out.
The next station is Little Pelican.
And yes, Little Pelican is the name of a suburb, I think, in Lake Macquarie. I think it's just up from the Matt Hall International Airport, actually. That's not the actual name of the airport, but that's what I call it. Red Bull Air Racer Matt Hall. Two stops to go, Araring and Aberdeen. And yeah, I will tell the Aberdeen story, or an Aberdeen story. Aberdeen is in the New South Wales Hunter Valley, the station south of Scone. And I was going to Scone one day, and it was the early morning Scone train. It was 3:30 in the morning, and this guy wanted to kick on, and so he saw Aberdeen on the screen and he was wondering if he should go there to kick on.
The next station is Rhine.
And I said, well mate, not really, it's not like Aberdeen in Scotland. There's not much there, and by the time you get there anyway, because it's almost 2 hours from Newcastle, you'll lose the buzz anyway. There's plenty of other places you can kick on that are a lot closer to Newcastle. wait here. So yeah, so it's funny when you think about, and this is the thing that happens often here in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia, is that you'll put something up on social media relating to Newcastle, Australia, and then you get some people from Newcastle upon Tyne in England that'll go, "Oh, are you talking to us?" No, it's New South Wales, Australia, mate. New South Wales, Australia. And then there's other times, yeah, so they'll post English things on an Australian page, or vice versa.
The next station is Aberdeen. Last stop. Please take your belongings with you.
So yeah, quite interesting. Sometimes you can tell straight away because Australian uses the Australian dollar, and in England they use pounds. So if you see them advertising something with a pound sign for an entry fee or something like that, or the phone number, because our phone numbers have a different format to English ones. There too, telltale signs, or their website address or their email address will be something.co.uk. Straight away sign that, you got the wrong Newcastle. So if I'm doing a Google search in relation to Newcastle, I'll say Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia, or Newcastle, Australia. Or you just use, things near me. At Aberdeen, no, we do not. So here we go. We are here at Aberdeen. We're set up for our next trip. I'm going to pause the episode here.
Alright, we are coming back. We've been here for about an hour or so for the first trip to Aberdeen from Lochinvar. And now we are going to return. But we're going to do something different. We are coming from the tram depot. And unfortunately, I can't rename the tram depot. But this is one of the tram depots. Doesn't really look like a depot though, does it? From here. It just looks like a parking area. That's what it looks like at best. So use the external door flap. Where's the external door flap? Just use the button, I guess. Do I? No, it says to go around here. No, there. Then what button do I press to interact with it? There we go. So I've opened it. I can get onto the train, or onto the tram. I'm sitting down. We'll close the door. Next stop, Lochinvar. I didn't really want to do that.
to Aberdeen, and I'll start a new run. Doesn't really look like a depot. Because we started the previous run at Lochinvar. Got us going through Garden Suburb as a waypoint, so maybe this is a different line that I haven't driven yet. Because all the lines are there, all the lines that are in the city are there, they just haven't been, or what I should say is there's tracks there. All the stations don't have routes allocated to them yet, is what I should say. So maybe this is using an alternative way of getting to Lochinvar rather than the way we just came from there. Under 7 minutes. Actually, what I might do, I might just stop here and see what the name of the station is. Oh, this is Garden Suburb. Okay, so Garden Suburb was our waypoint. The T2 doesn't actually stop at Garden Suburb. To Lochinvar, and then our first run. But we'll hand it over to another driver when we get to Lochinvar. I just wanted to see the depot, but it's just more of a standing area. Or to use a railway parlance that we use here in Australia, a stabling yard, but not necessarily an actual depot. Not a maintenance facility, put it that way. So I have gone ahead and renamed some stations. I have renamed some stations, so even if they're not on a tram route yet, I have renamed them since we arrived at Aberdeen. I was trying to set up a bus route. I don't have enough experience points for them yet. I don't have enough XP to do a bus route just yet. Hopefully that will happen soon. So I've got it saved as a draft route. Still 1.2 k's away from Lochinvar. I couldn't pull up in time.
safari, which we'll do on the next episode. That's not for me anymore. And there's a car there anyway. Where are we going? Round to the right. Alright, so we're 600 metres from Lochinvar. So all I really need to see is the bottom light showing me a proceed indication, or what in Melbourne they'd call lanterns, and just make sure that that comes on before I go. There we go, got it now. So we're 500 metres away from Lochinvar. Two trams in front of us. So this is interesting. So there's our tram, our T2. Sonderzug, I think, is German for out of service. So the first tram's moving off. So is the next tram. The next tram should move up shortly. Driver's probably not thinking of another tram being ahead of him. Let's have a look inside while we're fairly standard. So there's the outside of our tram.
Because according to this, we should be on our next service out of here. So, can I get out of my seat? Driver's probably gone to the toilet or something. He's probably not even on there. Didn't mean to do that. Part of me is curious and wants to see when is this other tram going to move up. Considering we're on a 15-minute frequency. But the other driver should be there to move up. Vehicle menu. Hang on, let's see. Battery switch, override driving lock, central key, pantograph, main switch. Automatic headlight, high beam off, cockpit light off, hazard lights on or off, indicators, switch, release doors, open all doors, door 1, parking brake, station brake. Alright, hang on, what's that? Sun blind. There we go. Hang on, how far can that go down, I wonder? Oh yeah, that's as far as it goes down, so I can't see anything now, okay. Still pretty cool though. So there I am in my tram. Well, there's not much else I can do, is there? If we're going to simulate it properly. That's the back end, so there's no, as I was explaining earlier on in the episode, there's no separated driver's cab, but there would be controls that are hidden away. Because it's a switch. I thought it was a Horner initially when I tried that before. Now can I see the timetable? I don't know. Because we've been waiting here for a fair bit of time now. I'd like to be able to... hold... Oh, so A and hold up. Hang on. Hang on. What I should maybe do... I want to open the door. Maybe I need to go back in the cab and just open the... Oh, and there's another train behind us. There's another tram behind us as well. Alright, so maybe if I... Alright. Let's go and have a look at what's going on. The doors are open and there's people getting on. Oh, so T4 departs from here as well. So T4 to Swansea, T2 to Aberdeen. Can we... Can we get on? Can we get on? No. Come on, tick tick. So the T2 to Aberdeen is the one sitting there. How many trams have we got behind me? Is there not? Oh, there's one other tram. No, two other trams behind me. Come on, dude. You're blocking the world. You're blocking the world, my dude. Because when the other tram left, this one should have pulled up to here. You're blocking the world, my dude. And I can't get on. Well, I'm not going to sit here forever. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to go to the main menu. We'll just have to get out of it. Oh, I really want to return. Not really, but I'm going to have to. Return to main menu. Start session. Alright, so we'll select... So hang on, let's see, even though this is a tram episode, let's see if I cycle vehicle type. I have a lot of these are DLC. So I can't select any buses at the moment. So we'll go back to what I can. Select vehicle. We'll go on the T2. We'll start again from our terminus at Aberdeen, which is A. I've changed all the station names now. Okay, I want to hang on. So, hang on. Where did I see? So, Garden suburb near Lambton. All right, Aberdeen. No, I don't want to. Yes, I do want to start from Aberdeen. And I want to go to Lochinvar. We'll do an afternoon 1, 16:02 in the cockpit. And we'll start. Alright, let's open our doors. So we're in Aberdeen, heading back to Lochinvar. We've got 30 seconds before we're due out. We're level 13 at the moment. Alright, so we 10, 9, 8. Two, 1. And we're away. And we've got the road.
The next station is Rhine.
Now, Harare may not mean a lot to some people, but it's actually the name of a power station near Lake Macquarie. So we're just crawling up to this one. Oh yeah, we can go. So it was clear for the straight route, but not for the left route. Trip, and I went ahead and I did all the R's, S's and T's because I'll have to do them at some point anyway.
I should have recognised that I've left a raring by now. So a raring, Little Pelican's next, followed by Anna Bay. Now Anna Bay is one of the ones that I had to rename. Little Pelican next.
The next station is Little Pelican.
I think from memory there's a Little Pelican and then there's also a Pelican. And these are real suburb names, by the way. I would like to think that every time I stop at a station I transport someone. Maybe it only registers when they get off.
The next station is Anna Bay.
Now, Anna Bay may not mean much to a lot of people, but amongst other things, it's the home, or it's a home depot of Port Stephens coaches.
The next station is Lovedale.
Now, compared to tram driving's a lot of line by sight. Yes, you do have to know where you have to go, especially if you've got multiple routes. But so much of it depends on the traffic and the flow of traffic. door 4.
The next station is Rothbury.
Anticipating your stops, anticipating traffic. This is the one that I thought should have been 20, but it's signposted as 50. Should we get bonus points for that? What a lot of tram companies do is when you pass by another tram, you give a bell as you approach the back of it, just in case somebody steps out from behind the tram. Level 14. I remember with TramSim it would give you a rating of how good your stop was.
The next station is Lemon Tree.
Got a 20 coming up, so I'm not rushing. Yeah, we're going over the left. Right on time. Brief 10-minute. Brief 10-second stop there.
The next station is Richmond Vale. Some intersections will set all the car phases to red. So there's a heavy reliance on the traffic lights interacting with the tram signals. So that was an interesting sign. It was saying bus to the left and the right can go left and right. Trams obviously can go straight ahead. So we're still going to have to watch tram signals when we're in the bus too, by the looks of that sign. A steam railway up until 1987, I think, from memory, that used to haul coal from the South Maitland railways into Hexham in Newcastle. And it was steam every day until it stopped. It never translated and never transferred to diesel operation. It was steam operation until 1987. Preserved railway now, but there's some issues at the moment. The railway museum's not actually open for public rides on the trains.
The next station is Mount D.
But their operating days will always be on the same operating days as the volunteer museum that I do volunteer at. Right, so we're going straight, so we have to wait. So I didn't want to miss a day at the volunteer organisation that I volunteer at occasionally to go to another one that was on the same day. And then so we've got to wait for this tram to go ahead across us. I think that might be the T4, I'm not sure. This is 20.
Now, from memory, the next stop, Farley, is a couple of k's away, a couple of kilometres away. And there's no stations that I missed when I was creating the route. So trams can turn right here as well, but I haven't created that route yet. Only 0.5 indicator Farley. Must move between Farley and Swansea. That's the whole distance.
The next station is Farley.
Triangle which connects the North Coast line to the main North line here in New South Wales. So a train coming from the North Coast can head north by going through that triangle without having to change directions of Wakeman. When I saw a photo of Farley Station on the internet one day. It hasn't been there for quite some time. There is still a suburb of Farley near Maitland.
The next station is Swansea. Change here for T4.
So you think, oh, I've got 90 seconds to go 0.6 per kilometre, then you get stuck at the traffic lights. So when I see the orange light, that'll be a good indication. The red light on top, then the orange light. It's pretty much at the same time I got the tram signal. That will indicate. So there's another TT tram heading in the other direction, so the route might vary.
I collided with a pedestrian. Well, there's definitely no pedestrians in front of me. They must have run into the side, and I'm just not making that as an excuse. There was literally nobody in front of me. To change. Gotta wait for the doors to close anyway. Door 3. Traffic light ignored the lines there, my dude.
The next station is Shoal Bay. Change here for T4.
So these lights will change while everybody's getting on and off the tram. And by the time we're ready for this phase, all the doors should be out, so I'll lock them.
The next station is Awaba.
Okay, green from there, going straight. What was just here? So we've got a Wobber, Warrabrook, Tavara, and Newcastle interchange. And I know that order's wrong. I wasn't thinking about where they are in relation to each other in real life. Oops, wrong one.
The next station is Warbrook. Change here for T4.
Perfect stop.
444. Alright, we're going straight, but I can't go. Later on I might switch the order of Tuara and Warrabrook around. I wonder if I'm going to be able to catch that tram in front of me.
The next station is Del Laura. Change here for T4.
Is that on it? Got the road. Alright, we should almost be level 15.
The next station is Newcastle Interchange.
around to the left here. What we need to concentrate on is the vertical bar pointing us straight ahead on the right. Come on, door 4. So this light's telling us not to go to the left. Oh, now it can go to the left. Or straight ahead.
The next station is Georgetown.
Lights for us. So ahead of us is another dual purpose set of lights in terms of public transport. Trams can go straight ahead and only straight ahead. Buses can turn left or right. So you'd think that the sign would be a little bit bigger and they could have a pictogram on it, but no. I suppose it will come with experience in the end. And the tram driver knows they can only go straight ahead.
The next station is Jewels.
To the left. We don't have the signal. Now if we were going straight ahead, we'd have to look for the bar to the right hand side to be pointing in the correct direction. And the points to be set in the right direction. We can go around to the left here. Another thing to consider in these complicated intersections is air gaps from when the trams go from one section to another. And that's often why the speeds are so slow. There is a train station right there.
4 to go out has. And we can't go anywhere.
The next station is Sandgate. The next station is Hamilton.
Actual mate Jules Hamilton.
The next station is Beresfield. Change here for T3 and T4. The next station is University of Newcastle. Change here for T3 and T4. The next station is Lambton. Change here for T3 and T4.
Alright, come on, door 4.
The next station is Lochinvar. Change here for T4. Last stop. Please take your belongings with you.
Some of these names will be changing. But hope you have enjoyed the return trip on the T2. That's purely a coincidence, by the way, that the colour of this line matches the name of the T2 line terms that I don't like using on Sydney trains. But it's the exact same line colour, I didn't even intend it like that. Alrighty, here we are. We have arrived. No. So here we are. We have arrived at Lochinvar, which I think will soon be named Talara. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I've been Simulator Dirk. You've been wonderful. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta and farewell. Bye-bye for now. Try and get some buses on soon.